Alright, this video is not going to be like the standard cading tutorial. It's not going to be a full round, but it's just going to be... Well, it is a full round, but it's not a winning round. I want to tell you guys how to do Frontcades. So a Frontcade differs from the main cade in where it's a cade that you make with 2 or 3 props, 1 to 3 props usually. And that's just a general sense. It's a few props that blocks an entrance or holds a choke point in front of the sigil cade. So what you want to do is effectively make it good enough for the humans to shoot out of so that they can hold the position, but you don't need to spend too much time on it because you still only have 30 minutes in a round of ZS. So what you want to do is find the clunkiest props you can. In the early round, or in the earlier times of the round, you're going to get a lot of players shoving props into your sigil. So what you got to do is find the clunkiest props, like the double crates, or just the wooden crates. The wooden crates are just garbage props, but I love using them for Frontcades because you can hold a choke point for a few minutes with them, and it buys time, and you get points for them, because otherwise they'll just be sitting in the back room of your sigil. But I mean, every prop has its use. You know, use soda cans for a minefield cade. So you can use those long tables in a main cade, but in this context I'm not really feeling it, so I'm just going to make another Frontcade in this hallway. And long hallways die to chargers, so Frontcades generally, or this Frontcade would only last until about wave 4. Assuming the zombies are coordinated. Yeah, all these props just getting fucked around in that sigil room. This is also a solution to cluttered sigil rooms. So you get a lot of people trying to shove big props into the sigil room. It's ridiculous. So you just got to take those props and immediately just start constructing Frontcades with it. Constructing Frontcades buys you time to actually make the main cade. A lot of people like to spend a lot of time on their barricades, and if you do this, you can actually buy yourself more time to perfect your barricade, because you gotta spend a little bit of time making sure the props are put in the right positions, because shooting angles are super important. And I'll make another video on that shortly after this one about shooting angles, because shooting angles, a barricade is nothing without its shooting angles, because if there are no shooting angles, and if they're garbage shooting angles, the barricade cannot be defended, and it will be shite. It will be terrible. So here I am. I'm using the green locker, which it's pretty clunky. I'm not gonna lie. I use them sometimes, like for big entrances. I'll show you how to use them in a main cade later in this video. But they're equally as clunky as double crates. Maybe a little less clunky because they're a little skinnier. But yeah, you want to use these. Why are they dying up there? Oh yeah, this is a lose match. Props that are really good for Frontcades. You got double crates, single crates, those green lockers, those long tables, pallets, blue shelves, silver shelves, vending machines. Vending machines are really good for that. You do the same thing I'm doing with the 2 crates, one on top, one on the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to make the top prop further forward so that they can't jump on top of the bottom prop. And what happens when you let them do that, when you let them jump onto the bottom prop, is that then the top prop blocks you from headshotting them, and then you're shooting their legs, which means you're shooting them for less damage. You get less points per ammo round, which is bad DPS economy. So you're doing yourself and your team a favor by making a good barricade like that. Just make when you're doing a frontcade, make the top prop a little bit forward so that they can't jump on top of the barricade. Just to reiterate. And if you have an abundance of clunky props, make as many frontcades as you can. Just make sure you're not, making it annoying to zoom through. Now, maybe it was a bad idea to make this many frontcades. I mean, we do lose, but it wasn't necessarily my fault that we lost. Ideally, you have players defending your frontcades as a sort of point farm position, because frontcades, they're barricades, so you can hide behind them. Players will use them as a vantage point to, duck behind the barricade and shoot zombies, farm points. It's perfectly fine. But like right now, there aren't many players actually defending the barricade. So the frontcades fall, which means I have to go repair them. Or I just have to make the main cade faster because none of the players are actually defending my barricades. And maybe they're focused on saving another sigil or something. It's just another team communication problem. So yeah, I'm going to readjust that locker because it's a little off. But right there is perfect position for that locker. So you can see I didn't do it long ways because then it would interrupt the shooting angle a little bit. But, and I've been doing this for a while, so when I was recording this, I didn't even bother to give you a good angle of how I position that locker. But if you see from right now, it's not if it were long ways, it would be harder to shoot out of. Let's just put it that way. So here I am. I found a couple more props back there to frontcade with, so that's pretty cool. And I always like to use double crates. People always hate using double crates. They don't know how to use them. They use them in main cades, which makes it really hard to shoot out of. They're just big, and their prop health isn't even that impressive. For something that size, it's only 829 health for a single nail. Not very impressive. So you've got to use it in a disposable sense somehow. And when the crate dies, you get points for it, so why wouldn't you use it for something? Just an idea. So I don't know why my frontcades are getting trampled right now. It's funny because we've got 59 to 29. So I'm checking, I'm looking, I'm calling out, I'm saying, get to B now. I think it's Sigil B. Yeah, Sigil B. And it looks like people are there, it's just there's not enough DPS. So I assure you that the frontcades are a good strategy, you just need enough DPS to hold them for a while, as for any cade. But anyway, back to constructing the main cade. You can see me doing little sporadic vision movements, trying to see what props I have available, and right there I was just looking for what to use for the top half of the cade. This is one of the rare instances where I'm able to use a pallet perfectly. So, having it upright, just like that, and it's high enough to where it doesn't block any headshots, but they can't crawl in. Like that is the perfect, that's the perfect pallet right there. And there's no shooting angle issues or anything. It's like, that's how you do a large entrance cade. So, keep that in mind next time you have to cade a large entrance, because I know a lot of people who would have just taken the long tables from earlier in the video and just put them long ways across it, and that it makes it, I don't know, well, I do know, it's just, it makes it really difficult to shoot out of, and they're clunky props. But this is a bit better because it's a lot more simple. They're square. There's less interfering with how you're going to be walking around the cade to get a different shooting angle. So yeah, and it may seem a little strange to just have 2 barrels at the front cade right there, or as the front layer of that cade. And I'm quad nailing the bottom props right there because, again, zombies don't really like to attack the top part of the cade. It's more inconvenient. So yeah, those 2 barrels right there. It would seem strange to only make my cade 2 layers. By the time the zombies actually reach the barricade, we've already lost. So the reason why we lost doesn't have to do with my barricade. Most of barricading, or the first half of the game, is constructing the barricades. The second half of the game is replacing the props in front of your barricades. So you want to make your barricade in such a way where you know you'll be able to fit the props in, the replacement props in front. So that's why you move the foundation props back a little bit from the entrance that they're going to be coming from. So that green locker right there is in a perfect position, not just because it gives you good shooting angles, but because there's a lot of room to put props in front of when the front prop dies. And you can see me staging extra barrels on either side, so that when one of the barrels dies, I've got another barrel right there to just load it right back in. You got to think ahead a little bit. Staging props is something I don't see a lot of people doing. It's just like staging props at retail. I think I said that in a previous video. It's been a while. I don't really rewatch my videos. Again, you want to use a nanite when they're attacking the cade because of the damage mitigation. And then they knock the barrel out of my hand. It's 33 to 52, so we're not going to win this. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys some tips on how to construct front cades and give you an idea of what it looks like. In the future, I'll also make a short video of how to correctly position blue shelves, because those are also good front cades. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Hope you liked it.